How's it going? Let's roll into this thing, shall we? One thing that I want to do is I want to post a video. No cuts, no edits. Let's just do it organically and authentically as we talk about the 2025 NHL Playoff and the NHL Playoff picture. So, my initial reactions to this is we have seen how well some of these teams have done towards the end, of the season. This team in particular. I'm looking at these guys right here, okay? They had a winning streak. We've seen some teams that have slowed down after making, history. This team over here, okay? So there's a lot of in and outs going on, and there's a lot of fun storylines that I would love to make in another video after we've given it a little bit of time and we thought about it a little bit for the NHL playoffs. I'll give you a little sneak peek here for the NBA because I thought of some pretty fun NBA playoff storylines potentially happening. Let me talk about the Lakers and Celtics with the possibility of renewing a rivalry and having a true 1v1 in the NBA Finals. Cavs and Thunder potentially. So there's a little nugget to give you because I want to sleep on this. I want to sit for it a little bit. We've known the Hurricane and we know the Devils were going to play each other. We've known about Tampa and Florida for about a week, but some wild card teams that have snuck in the last 48 hours are the Wild, the Blues, and then I think the Senators were always there, but then the Habs clinched it right out of Columbus. But points wise, I think Columbus was 3 back anyways, so even if they won and the Habs lost, I think they would have tied either way. Tie goes to the runner. I don't know the tiebreaker format, but either way, even if you steal the 8th seed, look who you're running into. So that will be my first move is I'm rolling with the Capitals. Okay. No, the Habs are a young team on the up and up, but with what Washington has done this season, I'm okay. I'm going to pick the safe pick. I'm going to pick Washington. Now, let me turn this off so there's not a lot of backlight coming this way. We'll go back over here to the West. I think quickly, I know the Jets are going to win this series, but I would not be surprised if, remember a couple years ago when the Blues went on a run, they were middle of the pack, bottom of the West, around the All-Star break, trade deadline. How'd that season end? They won the Stanley Cup final. Now, the thing with how this bracket is playing out is we have seen all the 1s and 2 seeds be eliminated before. I'm not saying that as a 1 seed the Jets are totally protected because the Bruins got eliminated last year. Who is the 1 overall last? I don't remember who the number 1 overall last year in last year's finals are, but a bigger example would be the Bruins from 2 years back. But yeah, we've seen the Flames lose to the Avalanche. We've seen Washington lose to the Hurricanes. We've seen Tampa Bay lose to Columbus. So 1 seeds aren't necessarily safe. And so if I were to say, okay, which 1 seed or high seed's going to get upset, I'm picking this one all day. Not going to here though. I do think though the Senators do sneak a couple on Toronto. I know Toronto's playing really good right now. Do I think they probably get past this second round and move to the conference final? No, there is a little bit of curse involved. I know there's that wild stat out there where I believe it was the last time they won the division, the Bruins and the Rangers were in the playoffs. They won the division. Rangers didn't make the playoffs. I think Penguins might have been in that equation or something, but Bruins not in the playoffs, Rangers not in the playoffs, maybe potentially the Penguins, and they won their division. That was the year they won the Stanley Cup, which was the last time, which was back in the 60s, and damn, has it been a long time. And I saw that one floating around from some of the Leaf fans and their media teams, and it's it ain't happening. Not this year, Buster. I will give credit, though. Let me hop back over here. I think the Senators could sneak one, maybe in Toronto, and they'll win one at home. So, give me 4-2. With the Blues, You know, the Blues were sitting down here at that 7th spot, and I was like, I could definitely see the Blues taking Vegas to 7. But dude, the Jets are a wagon right now. They are an absolute freaking wagon. So, um, hard pick would have to be the Jets. Now, we'll talk about President Cup Trophy curses when we get to the next round. Um, the Devils are not playing good hockey right now, so I'm going to take this easy one right here. And then let me do. Florida's not playing good hockey either, which is really concerning for me. Because Florida, the Oilers, and the Stars, all three of those teams are not playing good hockey. They're all struggling, so it'd be easy. Okay, give me Avs, give me Kings. I'm just going to take. There's a lot of factors in why Florida's struggling right now. Barkov was dealing with something. Tkachuk hasn't played since Four Nations, and so I think when you have locker room guys like that who are spark plugs to the whole team, yeah, it's going to affect a lot. And so right now, it'd be easy to lean on Tampa Bay because how many points they score a game, how well they dominate some teams, and how they've been down the stretch. But I'm not gonna pull that trigger. I'm just gonna pick the safe pick, and even though they're third in their division, I'm still gonna roll with the Panthers. Okay. And then out of the Kings and the Oilers, just considering how well the Kings have played this season, how they've I believe they've tied a franchise record, but they set a franchise record on just home alone with how well they play. This is a 7-game series. I know they've run into the Oilers. This is the third straight season that they've run into the Oilers in the postseason. Do I think they need to fix the reseedings? Probably a traditional 1-8 would look nice. But I don't like if this thing does go to a game 7 and the Oilers got to go over to LA with how the Kings just don't lose at home. They've lost a couple at home. Nobody goes undefeated at home. But with how well the Kings have been at home, dude, if this goes to a game 7, yeah, give me Darcy Kemper. Give me the Kings moving on to the next round. You know, Kemper, Hellebuck, Vasilevsky, some of those goaltenders are playing out of their mind right now. And that's a key reason on why you're going to win a Stanley Cup is your goaltenders playing, his best hockey at the best moments. Okay, now for this one, I mean, it's the Wild. No offense. Like, I know Fleury's going on like a farewell tour. Give me Vegas, though. Vegas is a wagon right now. So, there's that. Now, the biggest I want to say, and I know it sounds really cliche, and I bet a lot of people will probably talk about this too, is where is butchered that name. Gabriel Landeskog. He has not played meaningful hockey, okay, playoff level hockey since he hoisted a Stanley Cup back in 2022. It's been 3 years. Now, he played some games in the minors to get his feet wet, to roll back into this. I would say they give him the green light to go, but again, he hasn't played hockey at the NHL level 3 years. And I think that would have an effect on a player, even if they are, Ovechkin-like, Crosby, McDavid, Landeskog, even to the level of how well they are. So I think he's not going to be, 100% right away and in playoff mode from the get-go. I'd say probably by the conference finals, maybe he rolls into his old ways of how well he was playing. Because if you've looked at the Avalanche, plain and simple, I think personally why they haven't gotten as far as they have in the past is because the missing piece of Gabriel Landeskog, having a captain there, but also they got rid of their goaltenders that helped them win the Cup too. Now, Dallas has been struggling as of late, so I'm at a toss-up for this. I will still pick Dallas though. Now, safe picks from here to kind of keep this rolling. I think when you look at the history of President Cup Trophy winners, I have a stat here. So the Blackhawks won it back in 2013, and they still won the Stanley Cup. But the long laundry list of President Trophy winners is first rounds and second rounds. The last one that went kind of far was the Rangers last year, where they lost to the Panthers, who eventually won the Stanley Cup. I will give the Jets some credit, where I think getting to the conference final is more than likely. But if we're looking at that trend of, okay, they've only been able to get as far as the second round, this is where the bus stops, and Dallas goes to their third consecutive Western Conference final. But Jets are a wagon right now. So I'm going to pick the Jets, have them moving on. Now, out of the Kings and out of Vegas, just with star power alone, you can look at the stars and the individuals for Vegas that make them great. But as a team unit, I would say it's something unique about the Kings and what they're doing this year. Now, that's even if they can get past the others. Because, again, the playoffs are a totally different monster. I'm going to roll with Vegas, though. And we have a little 1-2 meetup here. I think this definitely could go 7 games. Where around games 4 through 6, the away teams start to sneak out some road wins, where the Kings go win one. I think it's called the Palace. I think that's where Vegas plays. And then, the Golden Knights go sneak one out in LA. So, all right. Now, as we get to the east side, I'll try to make this quicker. I'm going to roll with Florida. Toronto's not getting to a conference final in my lifetime. Like, there are sports curses, and I think the curse on Toronto is very much real. Like, if they get past and they go to the conference final, hell, they might as well go all the way. But they're not going to win it. No way. No way, Jose. I think the Leafs will be the next Chicago Cubs, where once you hit that 100 years, then maybe the hockey gods will smile upon you and be like, okay, you earned it. All right. I'm going to roll with the Capitals against the Hurricanes. But with how the Capitals have been playing recently, dude, I would not be surprised if the Hurricanes just curb stomp them. Capitals have 7 goals. They lost by a touchdown to Columbus the other day. They've been struggling. So now we sit with a unique situation where, does this conference finals look familiar? Does a potential rematch of these two look very familiar? Or, like, I have a feeling, and it's going to be one of my storylines going into the NHL playoffs, is rematches kind of just seem written all over it. I mean, these two met in 2018. If these two run into each other again, there's a rematch of the 23 finals. If these two run into each other, there's a rematch of the 2018 finals. Like, rematches are coming. And, hell, okay, let's say Florida can't get it going. Tampa Bay is going to beat Toronto. And then Tampa's going to find themselves in the conference finals since their 2022 run, where it's like, holy cow, they've found a way to come back together, even missing some key pieces, a captain that was with them when they won those cups. And it's a rematch of the 2018 Eastern Conference final. But I think right now, with how well, because I can't pick a 1-1. There's no way. There's no way we have a 1-1 with the Jets and the Capitals. It'd be too easy. It'd be too easy to pick it. Especially, like, considering hijinks and curses and just the momentum of how some of these series will go and just the history overall. That's why I will have Vegas right here. We have had some back-to-backs before. The last one was Tampa. Before that, it was the Penguins. And then we've had some 2 and 3 years, 3 and 5 years between the Blackhawks and the Penguins. I think Vegas couldn't go back-to-back. And the Panthers have a shot to go back-to-back. But I think with how well the Capitals have been playing, there's just a part of me that wants to see Ovi ride off into the sunset. You win a cup, you set a record, hit 900 goals, hit 950 goals. He's not going to score 50 goals in this playoff. Maybe. But hit some kind of record like that is unreachable, and then just go out on top. Like, how amazing would that be? Will it be tough? Absolutely. Like, these two, Oh my gosh. If this is what the conference final matchups are, we're eating good. The last time these two met each other, the game was in Washington. The Capitals rolled them, but give me a 7-game series of that, it'll be real good. I will take Washington. I'll have a 2018 Stanley Cup Final rematch. It's going to be hard for me to try to pick against Washington looking at it like this, because this seems to be the year that Washington can win it. There's also other parts of me where it's like, what if Vegas does what the Blackhawks and the Kings have done, where they win 2 in 3 years, they win 3 in 5 years. The Capitals being the 8th seed last year, you go into the offseason, you get ready for the next season, and just everything that the Capitals have done this year, keeping on pace with the Jets, Ovi coming back from injury, setting the record, securing the 1 seed for the East. Like, it has all the makings of a deep Stanley Cup run. It really does. So, in a best of 7 between Vegas and Washington, I gotta think Washington would win it. And I don't think Vegas would go down as easy as they did last time. Like, I definitely think, or save it for 7 and go back to, Washington OT winner by Ovi in his corner office. That'd be freaking sick in a game 7. You shitting me? That'd be amazing. You'd have to retire at that point. But initial thoughts, initial reactions. This will be my playoff prediction. Yeah, Washington winning it over Vegas.